First thing I want to say about this workshop and any workshop, guys, anything that you hear from anybody, take it as it resonates. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get pretty out there in some concepts, and I just want you guys to know that this teaching is not all inclusive. I've not included every single kind of being that you could come into contact with. However, I'm including 16 different types of beings, some of the more common beings, and it's not all inclusive. I'm not the end all, know all, be all, but I do have knowledge and experience with these beings, or firsthand with the people who have experience with these beings. So this is not information that I have come across lightly. But as always, my own knowledge might grow, evolve, and change over time with my own experience and exposure to new concepts, and as we all grow and evolve, right? So I just wanted to put that out there, that this workshop, everything that I'm going to include in this is what I know to be true at this time. It's what I know to be true, guys. I'm not going to feed you some nonsense, but as always, take it as it resonates. Sometimes we can't wrap our brains around a concept, or sometimes we may have conflicting beliefs that negate new information, and if that's the case, just let it wash past you, move on to whatever else we're talking about next, and don't dwell on it. Don't create tension. Don't make something fit. If it doesn't resonate with you at this time, it may not be part of your experience. I wanted to bring this information to light because ETs, UFOs, all these things are so much more common now, and my guides have been urging me to get some of this information out, because for one, people are already experiencing this, and for two, if you're not, before you do. That way you have a little bit of knowledge, you kind of understand what may be going on, and you can kind of identify maybe the beings who are contacting you and whatever method that they are coming through with. You don't necessarily have to take notes if you're not like a note taker. You don't have to do that. There's no quiz or test like that, okay? So I just wanted to start with saying, have you guys seen all this UFO stuff on the news? So it has come about on the news in our 3D world that UFOs are real, that extraterrestrials may be real. There are amazing documentaries coming to the surface right now within the last few years, and even still on Netflix, on Amazon, just talking about the disclosure about UFOs, about abductions, about encounters, about aliens among us, okay? And these things are just being disseminated more and more prevalently in our society now, in our country right now. I know if you're in the US, it definitely is. But I want to say that 8 months ago in December, these are facts, 8 months ago in December of 2020, the former head of Israel's Defense Ministry space program, who was the director for 30 years, his name is Haim Eshed, went public after he retired with the information that the U.S. government, in coordination with the Israeli government in which he was working for, had been in direct contact with extraterrestrials from the Galactic Federation. This was in December, just last December, guys. Have we even heard big news about any of this stuff? And Haim Eshed continues to tell the people that he reported to that our president at the time, President Trump, was well aware of the Galactic Federation, well aware of this whole program, and was aware of the contact. And when Haim went public, there was no retweet, no response from Trump on this. So it kind of just got schmoozed right back under the rug. But I want to say this. 1 year prior to that, if this wasn't weird enough, okay, that this whole other country says, hey, by the way, U.S. has been in cahoots with speaking to these extraterrestrials, and humanity is not aware of it because the government does not think you can handle it, right? Or some of the extraterrestrials don't think humanity can handle it. That depends. But 1 year prior to this coming to light, and you know that the media always tells the public about things way, way later after they've already decided, like, it's been in the know for quite a while before they finally go public with any darn thing at all. They've thought of the ins and outs. Nothing is just dropped on us as it happens. It's just not. So 1 year prior to this person, this government official from another country coming out and speaking up and saying that President Trump was involved and knew about all of this and that, 1 year prior, in an uncanny move at the time, President Trump formally added to the U.S. military an additional military branch. This was in December of 2019, formally added an additional branch to the U.S. military, and this is the U.S. Space Force. They raised a flag, created this flag with like planets and stars and all kinds of stuff, the U.S. Space Force. Now, if we have the U.S. military and we have like the Navy and the Army and the Air Force, right? The Air Force, those are people that fly, but we need a Space Force. Apparently, we needed a Space Force added to our military government that directs things a little further out than the Air Force can handle. These things are true events. The government has admitted the truth of extraterrestrials, of alien life forms. So let's just say that collectively, this information is not coming out. So like, I would think it would be a wave crashing right into society and everybody would be like, whoa, my gosh. But it's not coming about that way. It's very subtle. People are hearing about it. It's more hearsay. I caught this, I caught that, but nobody's making a big deal about it. So let's just start real fresh with basic knowledge. Mind's blown. Aliens are real. What is this about? What's going on? So that is true. ET, extraterrestrial beings, do exist. The Galactic Federation does exist, okay? Some people, you might follow them on YouTube or whatever else. Some people channel beings or the entire council of the Galactic Federation. Some people channel messages from them. From what I understand about the Galactic Federation, I'm not going to go deeply into that because I have so much stuff to cover. We're going to be going through some different things pretty quick. I see your question here. Will any of these explanations resonate with who we are, or will we recognize the qualities in channeling? Now, these qualities that I'm speaking about, now, I'm trying to indicate some are of the beings, okay, and some are of the starseed traits that we would recognize in our own self, and a lot of times those are interchangeable. The beings themselves exude certain qualities, and we resonate with those qualities because we have them in us as well. That is where you will recognize which one more likely resonates with you because you know who you are inside. And we'll do a little assessment later to try to help you pinpoint which one you might lean more to than others. And there may be more than one. You will also recognize these qualities in if you're channeling, yes. If that's your method, channeling, absolutely. But in the guides and in the beings that you are experiencing when you're doing this channeling, when you're doing this connecting, these are indications of who you may be dealing with. And you could definitely feel into the energy for these types of, you will feel these types of, these energies about them. And you can ask them questions, definitely, to get more clarity. And then you'll know where you're at with those beings that you're in contact with.